Hi, my name is Dawn and my son has schizophrenia. 10 years ago he had a major psychotic break. And as I loved him through these last 10 years, I learned an important and powerful lesson, and I want to share that with you today. The lesson I learned was that I wasn't alone in the battle against his mental illness, and neither are you. Now, when he first became ill, I felt very much alone. And I knew I had a battle in my hands, so I came out swinging and I fought like hell. But I was still losing him. And I realized that when you love someone with mental illness, you don't have enough time and patience and money and fortitude and forgiveness to provide for all the needs they have. And that realization, it wasn't an admission of failure, but it was a turning point. I knew that I had to work smarter and fight harder, so I reached out for help. And I found my local NAMI support group. And when I went to that group, I met other fighters like me, people who were engaged in the battle. And some of them were veterans, and they had all the experience I lacked. They told me what I needed to do and where I needed to go and who I needed to see and what to expect. And with that information, I was able to put together the help my son needed much faster than I could have ever done myself. It saved me countless hours and so much frustration. Now, with that wisdom and knowledge and support from my NAMI support group, I knew that I had to up my game. And I set about to learn everything I could about my community's mental health services, therapies, medication, disability, and I committed to use every single resource that was available. Well, I wasn't alone any longer. I had a small army, and together we battled my son's mental illness. Some days were better than others, but I never gave up, and I never surrendered. Today, my son is doing well. He still has schizophrenia, but he's living his life, and the schizophrenia doesn't control or define his life anymore. So I encourage you to reach out and find your NAMI support group, take advantage of the resources. Because if you love someone with mental illness, it's important that you don't forget that you're not alone in the fight against mental illness, because you're going to need to fight for them. You be the person standing in the gap between them and disaster. You be their voice when they can't speak up for themselves or no one listen. You be involved. Because the best indicator of a person's recovery when they have a mental illness is whether or not they have a family or loved one who is supportive and involved. Have courage. There is hope.